It disrupts the hormone balance needed for muscle growth, testosterone, growth hormone, all of these things we've talked about, which breaks down our muscle tissue and promotes fat storage, especially around the midsection. As men hit their 40s, hormones and metabolic changes significantly impact how the body builds and maintains muscle. Key factors that affect our testosterone levels are which leads to fatigue, weight gain, and difficulty maintaining our muscle. If we want to boost these hormones, the best way to do this is to building and maintaining muscle for men over 40 comes with its own unique challenges. Hormone shifts, change in metabolism, and lifestyle factors can make it hard to build and maintain our muscle. This impacts our energy levels, our mood, our long-term health, and our overall vitality. It can be frustrating and it leaves us feeling flat. But here's the good news. It's not impossible to build and maintain muscle. It's not impossible to boost your energy. It's not impossible to improve your health when you're over 40. So in this video, we're going to break down the hurdles and give you actionable strategies to overcome them. By the end, you'll have a realistic and achievable guide to maximizing muscle growth in your 40s and beyond. So let's get stuck in. As men hit their 40s, hormones and metabolic changes significantly impact how the body builds and maintains muscle. Let's have a look at these key hormones. So number one is testosterone decline. Our testosterone levels decline at roughly 1% per year after the age of 30. Leading to reduced muscle mass, lower energy levels, and slower recovery. Now, the big problem we're seeing in our modern lifestyles is that our testosterone levels are 50% lower than our great-grandparents already, and that's at a young age. So it's a real serious issue in terms of testosterone levels becoming lower and lower. Key factors that affect our testosterone levels are chronic stress, poor sleep, a sedentary lifestyle, a diet that's high in processed or ultra-processed foods, obesity, excessive alcohol consumption, smoking, low vitamin D levels, and the list sort of goes on and on and on. Exposure to toxins and chemicals in our environment also impact our testosterone levels. Number two is cortisol dysregulation, and chronic stress leads to elevated cortisol levels, which breaks down our muscle tissue and promotes fat storage, especially around the midsection. So that's why we often see guys over 40 with the beer gut. Contributing factors include poor sleep, the overconsumption of caffeine and alcohol, so we're talking stimulants here, a sedentary lifestyle, overtraining, so opposite ends of the scale here, not exercising enough or exercising too much, poor nutrition, exposure to blue light, toxins, gut health issues, and a lack of social connection. Number three is insulin resistance. So a decline in insulin sensitivity makes it harder for the body to use glucose or use sugar as energy. It hinders muscle recovery and promotes fat gain. Overeating and the consumption of ultra-processed carbs are the major contributor to this. Obviously, physical activity can also have an impact, but the number one cause really comes back to nutrition. Number four is our growth hormone starts to decline. It decreases at a rate of around about 14% per decade after the age of 30. It's essential for muscle repair, fat metabolism, and energy production, and of course, our vitality. Factors such as poor sleep, excessive body fat, stress, alcohol, poor nutrition accelerate the decline of our growth hormone. Number five is our thyroid hormone imbalances. And this can create a sluggish thyroid, which leads to fatigue, weight gain, and difficulty maintaining our muscle. Causes can include autoimmune conditions like Hashimoto's, nutrient deficiencies, iodine, selenium, zinc, vitamin D, iron, stress or chronic stress, environmental toxins, and our gut health. Number six is estrogen dominance. And this generally happens alongside lower testosterone. As our testosterone goes down, our estrogen can come up, hence good old moobs. So excess body fat increases when estrogen levels go up. It disrupts the hormone balance needed for muscle growth, testosterone, growth hormone, all of these things we've talked about. And it can often be caused by chemical exposures. So think body care products, think cleaning products, all these chemicals that we're putting on our body or we're exposed to. Also, certain chemicals in ultra-processed foods can affect this as well. Poor liver function, low testosterone levels, as I mentioned, and we can also have inadequate detoxification pathways. This can be gene-related, but it can also occur if we're overexposed to a lot of chemicals in our everyday life. Number 7 is DHEA decline, and DHEA is a precursor to a lot of our other hormones. So a decline in DHEA reduces energy, recovery, and vitality. Factors that affect this: stress, poor diet, inflammation, the sedentary lifestyle, exposure to toxins, they're all common issues. And number 8 is melatonin decline. Now, melatonin helps us regulate our sleep and wake cycles, and it's essential for recovery. Decline is often driven by high exposures to blue light. So think about our screens, our laptops, our iPads, all that sort of stuff, especially after dark. An irregular schedule, so a regular schedule of what times we wake up, what times we go to bed, interrupting the circadian rhythm. Stress, poor sleep hygiene, the consumption of stimulants like caffeine and alcohol, and again, the exposure to environmental toxins. As you can see, these hormones are all closely interconnected and they heavily influence each other. They're also heavily influenced by lifestyle factors. So if we want to boost these hormones, if we want to have better levels or optimal levels of these hormones, the best way to do this is to improve lifestyle factors. And that's what we're going to dive into. But first off, I want to talk about common mistakes that men in midlife often make. Number 1 is overtraining, doing too much training, which applies a physical stress to the body. We don't allow enough time for recovery, and this has a negative impact on a lot of our hormones. So we want to think about, okay, what's the best bang for our buck in terms of efficient training? And when we look at all the research, it comes back to strength training. Strength training is key, or resistance training is key. As long as we're getting enough recovery there, remembering that the body doesn't grow or we don't build muscle through training. We're breaking down muscle tissue, causing damage to the muscle tissue while we're training, and the results come from the rest and recovery. So making sure we're getting enough of that to stimulate muscle growth and to improve our hormone balance. Number 2, along the same lines, is a lot of men focus too heavily on cardio. And although cardio can support cardiovascular health, excessive cardio reduces muscle mass and has a negative impact on our hormones. So therefore, strength training should be prioritized. If you've got limited time to train, you want to be spending that lifting weights or doing resistance training. If you don't believe me, go and have a look at endurance athletes and the health issues that they're experiencing due to the high volumes of cardio training that they're doing. A lot of them have minimum muscle mass, they have a lot of chronic stress, a lot of aches and pains in their body, digestive issues, gut issues, and a whole host of other problems that come from this cardio training or overtraining of cardio. Number 3 in the common mistakes is neglecting our nutrition, believing that we can eat whatever we want as long as it fits our calories or fits our macros, consuming high amounts of processed foods. This is going to impact gut health. This is going to impact our hormone balance. This is going to impact our body's ability to build and maintain muscle. And number 4 is not getting enough quality sleep. Sleep is where the recovery and repair happens, and poor sleep just stalls progress. So the big thing here that we want to think about is the time-effective workout routines. For busy men over 40, efficiency is crucial. So we want to focus on compound movements: squats, deadlifts, chin-ups, overhead press, dips, bench press. All of these are key to helping us build and maintain muscle efficiently and effectively. We also want to be thinking about progressive overload, gradually increasing the resistance to challenge the muscle. This doesn't mean we go to the gym and we lift heavy every time we're there. We don't have to train to failure all the time. The training cycle should go between stages of accumulation and intensification, high amounts of volume with a lighter weight to then lower volumes with heavier weights, allowing us to challenge the nervous system and the muscular system and getting the best bang for our buck over the training cycle. We're not just thinking about the training session. We're not just thinking about the training week. We're thinking of the accumulation of resistance training over months, over years, helping us to build and maintain that lean muscle, which is crucial to our energy and vitality. The last thing here comes down to, again, the recovery, planning rest days and including active recovery, thinking yoga, thinking stretching, thinking walking, swimming, even the use of saunas can help, speed up recovery. A lot of different things there that we can use that I haven't mentioned that will also speed up with recovery, but we're not talking solely about recovery today. That's just a few ideas. So let's dive in and think about some Maverick strategies to address hormone issues. I mentioned it before. The biggest key factors that we can focus on here to improve our hormones is lifestyle. A big part of that comes back to nutrition. So focusing on whole foods, nutrient-dense foods, especially healthy fats like animal fats. Thinking about raw dairy, we could think about avocados, coconut oil, olive oil, fatty fish. All these things are good for us. All of these things are going to help our hormones. Saturated fats are not the enemy they've been made out to be. Humans have eaten diets high in saturated fat for thousands of years. Our ancestors ate a lot of saturated fat and they didn't suffer with any of the chronic diseases that we're seeing today. So saturated fats shouldn't be avoided. In my mind, red meat shouldn't be avoided. We want to be thinking about foods that have the most nutrients in them, getting in the vitamins, the minerals, and everything that our body needs to thrive. The next thing is exercise. So prioritizing strength training 2 to 4 times a week, and that could be anywhere from 20 to sort of 60 minutes. Not doing longer than 60 minutes, and probably can't really get away with anything shorter than 20 minutes to get an effective workout that's going to help stimulate muscle maintenance and muscle growth. Number 3 is sleep. We need to be aiming for 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep. And to do that, we've got to think about our sleep hygiene, reducing blue light in the evening, so exposure to screens, blocking out all light in our room, so think blackout curtains, make it like a cave, and keeping our room cool, okay? We sleep better in cool temperatures. They're just some tips I have around sleep and improving sleep quality. Number 4 is stress management. So we've got to think about ways to minimize stress in our life. How can we adjust our lifestyle to reduce stress? And, it's not always avoidable. In midlife, we have a load of responsibilities, a lot of things that we're having to juggle and keep the plate spinning, whatever you want to say. So we can't avoid all stress. And stress isn't the devil here. It isn't evil, but chronic stress is something we want to keep an eye out for. We can obviously manage stress and use mindfulness practices, meditation, journaling, gratitude to help us manage our stress. But we also want to be thinking about, well, what areas of my life can I start to cut back on that are too stressful? What relationships, what working hours, training as a physical stress, the foods we eat, the toxins we're exposed to, these are all adding extra stress to our body. So it's the accumulation of this stress that we've got to learn to manage. Number 5, we can think about supplementation. But when we think about supplementation, we really want to also consider getting our blood work done, finding out and identifying our deficiencies, and then trying to modify our diets and our lifestyle to get these nutrients up to a level that our body needs. Now, our body makes all of our hormones from the nutrients we get from our nutrition and nutrients from the sunshine in terms of vitamin D. So making sure we're getting that in there. We do not want to take, too many supplements and overdose on a lot of supplements, but we want to make sure our levels are in check. So if we're super low in some sort of minerals or vitamins, then we can use supplements to bring those levels up a lot faster than potentially we could get from food. Zinc, magnesium, and vitamin D are all essentials. They're just the base essentials that we need to get tested. And we can go obviously a lot deeper than this, but making sure that nutrients is there is really going to help improve your ability to build and maintain muscle, but also your energy, vitality, longevity, health span, and on and on and on. Number 6, I want to talk about limit toxins. We want to avoid endocrine disruptors. So these are toxins that are going to affect our hormones. Things we can think about here is like avoiding BPA, plastic containers, using more glass containers, using steel bottles, using steel containers, just avoiding plastic in general as much as we can. We also want to think about the cleaning products, dishwashing detergent, what we put in the dishwasher, what we put on our hair, the shampoo and conditioner, the soap, the skincare products as well, loaded with toxins that we're absorbing into our body, which are endocrine disruptors. They're disrupting our hormones and causing health issues. So we want to be looking for natural products that we can use and throw out all the things that are affecting us. This includes like deodorants and even like toothpaste that's full of fluoride that can disrupt a lot of our hormones. If you're having trouble with this, we want to think about professional guidance, consulting with healthcare professionals for hormone testing, and addressing the root cause with lifestyle changes, not just addressing the symptoms with medication. Most conventional medical doctors will go and give you a prescription for certain drugs that might be able to treat some of the symptoms going on with your hormones, but it's not addressing the root cause, and chances are it's going to come with a whole list of horrible side effects. And we don't necessarily need those drugs. And we need to be looking back at, okay, what are the lifestyle factors here that I'm not addressing? What are the other things that I could be focusing on here? Because they're going to have a better bang for their buck in terms of improving your health, happiness, longevity, ability to build and maintain your muscle. If they're not in check, well, then you've got some work to do. So in conclusion, building and maintaining muscle over 40 is challenging, but it's not impossible. By addressing hormone shifts and implementing targeted lifestyle strategies, you can build muscle, gain strength, have more energy, and more vitality. You can start today with a few of these Maverick strategies, and hopefully you can take control of your health and fitness journey.